Welcome back to the Tiger Arm Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for January 15th, 2023. We've got all kinds of news this week, especially some Transformers. Been a pretty big week. Got an update on a project from Ramen Toy, some great stuff that's coming out of there. Playmates putting out their 12-inch turtles, and a few other things we got to talk about with the turtles these days. Now, we've kind of seen these in sort of their poster checklist that they had going on, but NECA is got pre-orders up for this guy, but it looks like you buy him in pair. Well, you might want to buy more than one gargoyle. Tuesday, we're going to be having this Monger up. I'm going to talk about that in the world of Motu. We got to see some stuff for Indiana Jones. I don't think it was the worst showing ever. It was kind of interesting, and it's going to lead into more to come. I hope this line does well. Not really Star Wars news, but Star Wars rumors. We'll get into this and more coming up. First up, what's news? Show Z. There's some Fans Toys pre-orders that are up. There is the Fans Toys FD55 Recorder Blaster. It is $30 down, which kind of is helpful when it shows up, not having to slap down a chunk of change. But no idea on pricing just yet. Also, there's the cassettes, and those cassettes are 55B, Steeljaw, Ramhorn, and Eject, set of 3, $15 down. And they're still up for pre-order. There's also a couple others, including Powerglide. Powerglide's only a $3 deposit to get it, but if you want to get in on it, usually the lowest price, there they are. The Metagate Pterosaur is coming in a stop. It's the Geo4 Air King, and it's their version of Pterosaur. It looks really good. There's already reviews out there. I think Imgo reviewed already. $100. It looks fantastic, so look forward to getting mine. And arrival notice on the Big Firebird EX01 Plus, Muka. And so this seems to be hot. She's hot. Pretty hot item. It says sold out. Sometimes it does that for a few days on arrival notice till they get pre-orders filled to see how many they have left to put back on there. But it's up. If you're interested in this, you might want to check back. So the biggest news this week is really pretty interesting. This is coming from Lewin Resources, the ones that made that gigantic around 3 foot tall Optimus Prime. And they're making a Metroplex. Now, if you look at it, it looks pretty G1-esque, but it's still quite a bit stylized. But I think it does look pretty good. This thing is supposed to be around the 4 foot mark, 120 centimeters. Take that divided by 2.54, that's 47.24 inches. So 47 inches tall, that's almost 4 foot. So it looks like it's competing with the Like Toys and all of that kind of stuff. So definitely a pretty good one. I'm curious what the price will be. Nobody knows. It's just like been a teaser trailer so far, but not bad looking overall. And sort of feels like it's stylized more like the Make Toys. I think it was Make Toys that made it, and a little bit of style cues that we kind of see from what we got with the Titan class one from Hasbro, but still pretty cool overall. Now, there's not really good, clear pictures of it, and these are all screen grabs out of a video. So not the best looking, but still, there you go. There's the alt mode, and seems like a pretty solid Metroplex. Again, curious about the price. I think I'm more into the design of the Like Toys and the look and aesthetic of the Like Toys, but it's still exciting that this is going on. Star Toys putting out more pictures. These seem to be like official pictures of theirs or something, but it does look really good. It's looked better and better and better each week with each round of pictures. The thing I want to point out is I really like how the fins on the lower leg fold up. That's how I will display mine, not more cartoon accurate where it's just folded out, which is an option you can do. But again, it looks really nice, really clean, really smooth, especially painted up, and showing a bit of articulation there. And somebody did point out that it has a front crotch flap that's like a single crotch flap, which that might be the biggest problem with this, the biggest distraction out of it. But really, that's a pretty extreme pose. It doesn't look too horrible, but as one of those things, it will look cleaner in a more A stance or standing up than having a breakup in the crotch area, but it will look kind of weird if you have super dynamic poses, but still, overall, that doesn't look bad. Here's how it cleans up from the back, and so this is supposed to deliver by the end of this month. So start showing up around the end of this month. Now that's what I'm hearing. I don't know if they can hit that. I mean, obviously there's real world issues to overcome and deal with, but looks like they're pretty far along. Looks like they're not wasting a second to get this thing out. Of course, Chinese New Year might get in the way of all that, but here we go with the alt mode. Now, I'm not really sure about the front flaps there. I don't know if that can be adjusted or altered slightly to lay down a little bit better, but still pretty clean, pretty nice. I think this is not a bad mode at all. It looks pretty good. And then we also have a tank mode. This is the colored picture of the tank mode, and I kind of like it a little bit better than some of the other versions that would have maybe a giant, the too accurate ones. Too accurate, where it has part of the nose cone that's halfway folded up, still in there, and so this just looks a little bit cleaner. Not 100% clean, little cleaner than some of the other designs I've seen in different scales and all that kind of stuff. But overall, looking pretty good. Probably the weakest in tank, although it looks good. So Flame Toy is coming out with their Fury model G1 Soundwave. It's going to be $55, second quarter of 2022. And it's one that is easy to assemble model kit with great detail and posability. And it includes interchangeable hands and a non-transforming Ravage. So that Ravage does look pretty cool. It'd be pretty interesting to have that. But this is sort of the lower end that they do. And of course, you putting it together saves them on the labor and all that kind of stuff. And just like they always do, it's a bit stylized, but it's a little closer to the G1 than I'm used to seeing from them, and I kind of like it. It's pretty cool. And of course, I'm a big Soundwave fan and a big Ravage fan, so pretty cool looking. If you're interested in this, you might want to check it out. So Takara has been putting out some promotional videos and images for their MPG-05 train bot Cezanne. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of in the very similar style as the rest of them, putting the train mode first, the bot mode second. They are kind of short in the robot mode. So overall, they're just continuing this lineup. We have a nice picture of pretty much everything that's been made for it so far, and this is what it looks like. If you're into this, then I'm sure you're pretty excited. I think it's $150 for this one, so it's strange. Like the first one came out like super expensive, and they've been toning down the price on them as it goes. I'm wondering if that has to do with sales, or if that was already planned, or what's going on with that. But interesting. If you're into it, pick it up. And something tells me this will not see a KO. This will not get KO'd. And then if this doesn't ever get KO'd, that's just proof that Takara has some control over the KO market. So we got pictures of the next Protector bot that's coming from MMC. And so the interesting thing is that, well, first off, this was touched on Friday in the Friday video, but I still like the way these bots look. I like the way pretty much everything looks on this. The only thing I don't like is the size. They're a little small for me. But wow, I think MMC is really doing a good job with this. It's actually upping the paint level too, so it looks pretty good overall. I am quite impressed with the pictures, and I'm really tempted to pick them up, but I already want to sort of commit to the Transbots one, and that's kind of where I've been. But man, they look good, and I don't know if I need a second set for Protector bots in any other mode, but this would be it. This would definitely be the one to get. It seems like it's a little bit more fun or simple to transform in a way. Still has the all-in-one gimmick that's going on. So with that, that's pretty good. That's really good that they were able to engineer all that. It looks clean. It looks very G1 accurate, very tuned. And then here's the arm. And to me, in my opinion, if you're getting a Defensor, this is the most important part, right? The arm, the limb, the combined mode. So when I find pictures like this, I like to show it and share it. So this is obviously all of the Masterpiece Jazzes that are out there. I actually don't have all these. So on the left is Toy World, which is the tallest. Then it's Make Toys, which was the reigning king for a long time. Now we've got the Fans Toys, which looks pretty good. And then we have, well, very good actually. Then we have the Transform and Roll Out, which is really a weird one that kind of popped up, announced it. You didn't hear anything about it, and then it released. And so looking at all these, which one do you like the best? I love pictures like this. You get comparisons, you get size, scale, and all that kind of stuff, and aesthetic. Which one do you like? Here's some more Like Toys renders. Speaking of Like Toys earlier. And so looking at this, I just want to say that I want to point out that if you go all the way to the left, their Alpha Trion is full size. It's about MP10 size. So put an MP10 in there, and then you can kind of see the size and scale of everything else. This is all non-transforming stuff all the way across. And so you do have a couple Autobot fighters in there. And then, of course, you have some of the Ancients and that kind of stuff. And so they're going deep and just letting you get a lot of things that won't ever get made, and there's no need for any of them to transform because of the fact that they didn't transform in the show and all of that good stuff. So with that, now I'm not 100% sure what's going on in the middle. It looks like a Rodimus to me. Not sure. Is it going to be a Rodimus? Is it? Is it going to be a non-transforming but very accurate Rodimus? Who knows? Pretty interesting designs, and I'd like to see these when they start getting to the prototype. That'll be exciting. So we got more pictures of the Josiah Toys boob box here, which is pretty cool. It's interesting what's going on there. Now this is next to the, is it a Kingdom? I think it's Kingdom Blaster. Anyway, it's Blaster for the mainline Hasbro, and so you get the size and scale of her. So she's not super tiny, but she's not very big either. And so looking at that, we have a picture of her cassette, and her cassette next to a Kingdom cassette, which the Kingdom one's already real small. But this is super ultra microscopic, so that's interesting. It's cool. Pretty exciting, interesting little project they have going on right there. The biggest news in Legends, that's actually real small, but it's big, but it's small. Another combiner, possibly a Bruticus here. So this is supposed to be the Brawl, or rumored to be the Brawl. I don't know why they do this teaser or where this came from, but sometimes they just show like a picture of them in a whole bunch of figures that we're working on just out of the blue. Just blows your mind. So I don't know what they're trying to keep hidden in this. Is why we only got this much of a picture. Or are they just trying to be fun teasers? But it looks good. I mean, their Minosaur's great, and Bruticus would be great from them. I don't know if I'd be in on all these combiners. They come out to be like $250 a piece. So it's exciting that they're making it though. And Legends combiners pretty cool. I don't know if I need to go the whole gambit with it. But I'm excited that they're doing it because they're just going deeper into this Legends thing. And it seems like Legends is going to get more than Masterpiece as it continues. It seems like that's always the case. Usually it is. But nowadays, more than ever. So we got pictures of New Age's Ratchet and their Ironhide. Here's the thing. This is a big one-up from their, I think I call it Henry. I've got it. I forgot the name of it. But the first one they put out was massively undersized, in my opinion. Was an okay design, but people raved over that. And that's kind of funny how people were raving over it, and I was not impressed with it. I did get one, and I didn't get the Ratchet of that because I wasn't impressed with it. So I actually have the Ironhide coming in with this, but I don't know if I need them both. But I do want to get one, and Ironhide would be the one to get. For whatever reason, though, I think Ratchet always looks better out of the pair, no matter what. Here's the bot mode of Ironhide. So they both look great. In-hand images showing it right there. That paint is just phenomenal. I mean, that's where they win over the Magic Square every time, and just looking fantastic. But getting them hand in hand, I'm sure I'll probably still like the Magic Square design more, and that's just the way it is. But I am looking forward to this guy, checking him out, and New Age doing good work. So more pictures of Pangu Toys PT02, and this is their very G1-esque version of an Omega Spring. Now, this is coming out around the same time as the New Age one. I think this will be significantly cheaper than New Age. I think it's like $75 or something like that, or $79, along those lines. But I did pre-order it. I'll be taking a look at it, and depending on how good it is, it looks like it'd be a really good contender, a really solid figure overall, and I'm curious how close in design it is to what New Age did. But they look kind of similar. And then here he is from the back, and he cleans up real well. So yeah, it is different though. You do notice a lot of differences in it from the New Age, which we'll see here in just a second. But very, very clean, very G1, very G1-esque. I don't know the exact height of it yet and all that kind of stuff. So those are still some things we need to find out and look into. Here we go with the alt mode, and still, just look at that. It's a very clean alt mode. Looks really good, and so pretty exciting stuff going on, especially for the Legends collectors, Pangu Toys, and let's see a quick comparison. So here's a picture that's a comparison. So the left is Pangu Toys, the right is the New Age version. So you can decide which one you like the most, which one you think looks most like your preference, which one do you think is more G1, which one, whatever. I think they both look good. I don't think you could go wrong with either one. And so with that, two great options. two great options out of the blue, looking fantastic. That's outstanding. So we got new pictures of Strangelove, which is New Age's recolor of their Skyfire and their Firefox, but it's got a whole new name and looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. And I'm so tempted with every recolor of this, but I'm just not going to buy every recolor. Although I might regret it in the future, I am not buying every recolor. It's a lot of money. Push a 75 to 100 bucks a pop. This one might even cost more. Who knows? But that's what it looks like. Pretty cool. In the bot mode, and of course the alt mode, and really slick. Sort of reminds me of what they did with back in the day with the GoBots, when they recolored GoBots, and Psycho sort of got this color scheme. Pretty cool. Before we get into Hasbro news, I do want to touch on this Metagate Shatter. It looks like they're making a Shatter, and the point I really want to make is it looks like it's going to have all three modes, which we seem to not be able to get done at a Hasbro mainline version yet. This probably will happen. But I also want to point out, this is supposed to be Masterpiece scale, and I should have covered it earlier, but Toy World has no updates to theirs. Now, I know Toy World's another one that could take 3 years to make a figure, especially a triple changer. So, with that, I don't know what's going on with that, but this is a nice teaser, a lot of fun. Okay, so we've got in-hand images of Legacy, Evolution, Animated Prowl, and so this is one I'm not very familiar with, the whole animated series. I'm familiar with some of them, but not all of them. And anyway, so Prowl, I guess, is a motorcycle. So this looks kind of cool, kind of interesting. And let's see the alt mode. And the alt mode does look good. Seems like they do a really good job nailing those motorcycle alt modes. So, yeah, that's something that they've been doing pretty good lately. And we've got another one coming up, I think. We have a Core Class RC, and it's the classic hide the wheels on the back or the side of the legs. Well, this is the back of the legs. Someone had this shown where you could fold the wheels down and she can stand on them like she's rolling on them and stuff. That's kind of cool too, I guess. This is Core Class. This is like the lower end $10 small tiny figures that are Legends scale sort of. But here's the alt mode, and not a bad looking alt mode. Not the greatest, but not horrible. So we've also got a Core Class Freezer, which it says he's a 3.75-inch collectible action figure for boys and girls inspired by iconic movie scenes and designed with detail, and that you can connect it with other Studio Series figures. So that's interesting. So I guess it's a weaponizer, or it's just to add on extra arms and stuff. So that's actually not really a bad idea to have extra arms that can plug in, but there he is. It's like 12 bucks. So word on the street that there's going to be a new animatronic toy coming out, and it's under the Hasbro code F3937. Toy said to be priced around $120 or so, and it's going to be having an auto-transforming feature that's sort of like Robo-Sin, Optimus Prime, and half the size, half the weight. And the speculation is it's going to be Optimus Primal. So, two other things that I've said in the past. I felt they needed to get the price down and make it smaller for the Robo-Sin. Now, if Hasbro's making it themselves, which is kind of what it looks like, though, if they make it themselves, then they don't have to pay the license, so they can afford to put it at a lower price point. But I bet you it won't do nearly what Robo-Sin does, but I don't really need one that does that much. The other thing is that this, out of all characters, has the least amount of transforming that would be required. They already have like a 3-step flip changer thing coming out that's for this character, for the Optimus Primal. So I could see this very well being an animatronic kind of transformation, auto-transforming feature that's real simple to use. But anyhow, curious to see how it comes out. We might be way off on this. Last week we saw some real fuzzy images of Leader Scourge. These are some in-hand images. I want to say that this does look really nice. I'm actually impressed with the way this looks. The fuzzy photos did not do this justice, and it made it look terrible. I don't think it's terrible looking anymore. I think it looks pretty good. It's a pretty good design overall, what they did with it. So it is from the Rise of the Beast. It's a leader class, so the new $55 price point. Here is the truck, and that looks like something straight out of Mad Max. I feel like you could just put that in a Mad Max display and get away with it. But Still pretty cool, pretty interesting, and I do look forward to seeing the movie, The Rise of the Beast. So we've got promotional images from a zoo in Australia promoting Rise of the Beast, and so that's interesting. But hey, you got to promote it however you can, and this is what they chose to do. So with this, though, there's some interesting stuff going on, and I do want to say that we're getting a closer look at all these characters, but a closer look at Cheetor. And obviously, there's going to be some sort of organic outside and some like a combination. But since when did Cheetor have that much hair? That's a lot of fuzz going on right there. Real hair looking stuff there. Pretty interesting. I'm curious to see how it plays in the movie, how it works out. But very interesting stuff going on here with this promotional stuff, getting closer and closer to the movie. So there's a potato head style figure coming out from Super Impulse Pop Taters, Transformer Optimus Prime, and it's going to be $17.99 on Amazon. I think you can order it right now. Maybe it's just a pre-order, but it is pretty interesting. It's a pretty cool little thing going on right there. It's just funny. I was talking to somebody the other day about potato heads, and there it pops up getting an Optimus Prime. So it seems like there's probably a lot of people that collect different types of Mr. Potato Head and all that kind of stuff out there, and this would be good for that collection. NECA has their Gargoyles up for pre-order on BBTS, Entertainment Earth, other places like that. And this one here's like a robot, I guess. So I don't know a whole lot about the Gargoyles. I'm collecting them anyway because I think they're cool. I think they're fun. And for what you get for like 37 bucks, used to just only be 30, is a huge figure and huge wings, all this kind of stuff. But I see them showing multiples of this in their pictures like you'd want to have a few, which is really cool. I'm only going to get one, though. I only pre-ordered one. I think it's a cool looking figure. I wouldn't want to miss out on it. But I still don't have the Brooklyn and the Hudson. I haven't seen those yet. So I don't know if Brooklyn's out yet. I know Hudson's been out. I saw it and I didn't pick it up and I missed it. But just going to pre-order them and just get them and pay a little bit extra at BBTS. So Ramen Toys announced pricing for they call this Happy Halloween 2022. So kind of a Dodge Charger looking thing with some flames on it and all that. Supposed to have light up and all that. So they're going to be charging $250 if they can achieve 2,000 pre-orders for it. But if they could get it to more pre-orders, like say, I think 4,000 or 5,000, then they can lower the price, get it at a lower price. But they're just wanting to basically be able to cover the cost on it. They're showing that a small company making only 2,000 can do it for $250. Plus, if you get in the early bird when they do the pre-orders, and I'm not sure that they're up yet, but you get the pre-orders, you can get that 30% off pre-order too. So that's pretty awesome. Here we go with a breakdown of the parts again, and so they're still working it on it and working it out. Obviously, it's not tooled yet. There's a lot more to go into it, but when they launch the campaign, I will be all over letting you know about it. And those of you that are excited, I'm curious, just curious in the comments below, how many are excited for this? How many are disappointed that the Hasbro one didn't get done? And excited to get this one for $100 less? And pretty much the same thing. Okay, so it looks like Boss Fight Studios is making what I understand to be the first ever actual Fraggle Rock figures, $40 each. There seems to be, 2, 4, 6 of these guys. Fraggle Rock Flange Doozer, Gobo, the Uncle Traveling Matt, Red, Doozer 2-pack. So the thing about this is that I really have not kept up with Fraggle Rock since I was like 6. So everyone's excited about this. People are really excited about them. $40 a figure. They should have a wide release for Chosen Prime, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and all that kind of stuff. Or I guess you can get them straight from BossFightStudio.com. But if you're into it, check it out, pre-order it. Okay, Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central. They say 9 a.m. was it Eastern or something like that? Well, anyway, I don't do the time zones as well as I should. I always have to look them up. But I do want to say that this Frogmonger is going to be another hot selling item that sells out very fast. And I'm going to try to snag me up 3 of them. It just hurts my soul to buy one figure for $28. You know, it's going to be $19 plus 6 or 7 shipping plus tax. So I have to buy a few of them to feel like, okay, per unit wasn't so bad. It was only like $23. But anyhow, it still looks really cool, and it almost looks like one you'd want to have a few of, to tell you the truth. But this is one of those super deep cuts that I don't think they've made it before. I don't know if they've made it in the classics line or not, but anyhow, check it out. If you want this, Tuesday the 17th, be there 11 a.m. Central. Alright, so Indiana Jones stuff, this live stream, wasn't a bad live stream. It wasn't the greatest, but first off, there's going to be a whole bunch of kid stuff. I'm not going to show pictures of all of it, but they're making these little 2-inch, 2.5-inch figures, and it's not bad. This is the best of all of them. There's an airplane one. There's with a boulder and Indy and all that kind of stuff going on. So there's going to be a whole lot going on with this small line. If you're into it, then check it out. I don't think that many people are going to be so into this. So let's get into what I think most people are going to be into. They also made a whip. They're remaking a whip, but I don't think that's what people want to see. People want to see this. Now, I have a lot to say. Some people are going into bashing this, but it's about $800 or $900 to get a super beat up card with a Marion on it. All right, and to get a loose Marion complete is $300 or something in rough shape. And so to get this in pristine condition, now Stan Solo made one, and if you don't know Stan Solo, they make basically repro Star Wars figures of the rarest ones, and then they're starting into the Indiana Jones, and they barely got an Indiana Jones when it was announced, so they stopped. Stan Solo stopped. They did a personal cease and desist because they just don't want any trouble. And so with that, they are just going to step back and let Hasbro do whatever. Now, I want to say that I do have Stan Solo's version of this, and it is a good figure. It is solid, and it is an improvement to my beat-up vintage one. But I'm curious to see how it actually stands up when I get this at hand. Next one they announced for the Retro series is the German soldier with his wrench. Now, I was actually going to buy a KO wrench, but now for $15, I could just go out and get Hasbro's KO of Kenner's wrench. So that's what I'll live with in mind. My collection's not complete. I bought my friend's collection, added a few pieces here and there, but the price is so astronomical that I just can barely touch any of it. It's just crazy. It's insane. You're looking at $50 or $70 every little piece that's with this toy line. So I think it's a good thing we're getting these, because I would venture to say one of the problems is that this isn't going to have mass appeal, but collectors that really want to collect it are going to get what they want and what they need out of the line. So that's awesome. Hope they go really deep with it too. And here's Tote, and I'm not going to lie, I don't have Tote's gun, so I got his overcoat and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of the people that, when you've been collecting stuff for a long time, like I didn't collect this till just like a year and a half ago when my buddy sold me his collection, it's just mind-numbingly crazy how expensive these little parts are, or impossible to get, because the toy line was a failure. It was a big failure. This guy was a peg warmer. Nobody wanted it, and for that reason, they didn't make any more, so they're really rare and hard to come by. So now, with a whole bunch of people collecting it, now the masses could get it if they want it. So we're going to get the ceremonial bell lock, and now this is one that I did have. My buddy had this mostly complete. I had to track down a couple parts, and let me tell you, it was just stupid expensive. Like, stupid expensive to get these couple of little parts that was missing. And so this was a Melloway figure. Now it's going to get a card back. They did do mock-up salesperson card backs, carded figures, and so those are super ultra rare. Now you're going to be able to get a super ultra rare figure for $15. That's awesome. Okay, so in the 6-inch line, we got the Indiana Jones and the Club Obi-Wan get up there, and he's got a bunch of accessories that are pretty cool. And I've got to say that they're going heavy with Indiana Jones straight out the gate, which I think was a problem in 2008. I don't think it'll be a problem with the 6-inch line, because most of these off-the-wall ones, like this one, are exclusive. This is Target exclusive. I just placed my pre-order today for it to make sure I could get one, and so with that, comes with a bunch of little accessories, really tiny accessories. Pretty cool. Go pre-order yours. We've known about this for, what, a month now? So the other one they have in the 6-inch scale, they call it their Adventure Series, is the Walter Donovan with a zombie head, and from The Last Crusade. Walmart exclusive, so I guess they're up for pre-order at Walmart. And then that's how he looks with his normal face. And then talk about reuse. I think people think that the legs are reused or something, so I don't care at all, actually. I don't care. Let's get it the right price point. Keep the quality. Reuse all the parts you want. I don't care as long as it looks good. It looks good, and keep the that's a good way to keep the Indiana Jones franchise, the toy line alive. Just make the figures with the existing tooling so that you can keep it affordable for all of us. And yeah, that'd be great. Here he is with the crazy head. And here is an Indiana Jones. This is the Professor. I believe this one is also a Walmart exclusive, which seems kind of crazy. But 2 Walmart exclusives, that's fine. Whatever you gotta do to get it out. And with that, since they aren't going to be taking up waves, that's fine. Make different variants of Indiana Jones, your exclusives. But usually you'd want like to bring a different indie per wave and bring a whole bunch of other figures along with it. That would be great. But they do it the way they want to do it, and okay, that's fine. Let's get the pipeline revealed. So quickly getting into these, you knew that we were going to get a Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones. That was just expected, of course. And so here he is. Looks like a nice picture. We don't know what the figure's going to look like, but I'm pretty sure it'll be a fantastic looking figure. Excited for it. Then we're getting a short round, and so realize this is the 6-inch scale. This isn't in the retro series. We need a short round in retro series. We do. We need all these characters that we didn't get from Kenner back in the day in retro series. They're saying they're going to do 40 Star Wars retro series this year. Why not 40 Indiana Jones? I mean, why not? Why not just do it and then hope it sells? You know, that's not the best. Hope is not the best plan, but we need a short round in both scales. Also, Hypnotized Indiana Jones. Thing about this is that this is, I don't know, this is a little bit, I'm glad we're going to get it, but it's almost like too much indie. This is where you're going too much indie. It's something that you could have held out till later in the line, made it exclusive somewhere, who knows, but of course I'll pick it up. Yeah, I will. And then Old Man Indiana Jones. Again, too much indie. So it's not exciting when you're saying, okay, we're giving you 5 Indiana Joneses. That's not exciting. Seriously, it's not exciting. I've got pretty much the entire run of the main releases from the 2008 series, and I think that hurt the series, having too much indie in it and not enough of the other characters available to buy. So there, in the Adventure series, there's iconic characters that they are going to include that aren't even in the pipeline reveal, but it's in the description. So you're going to be getting Indiana Jones, including Henry Jones, so his dad. So that's going to be awesome. We're going to get the senior. We're going to get the Grail Knight and Molaram, and more. So probably going to get a lot of other characters out there if it does well. So I look forward to that, and why not show those and hold back a couple of the indie variations? So we've got one picture of a first in-hand look at the DC Multiverse Christian Bale Batman. I think it looks good overall. I do like sort of this style of Batman. Of course, my favorite is the Michael Keaton and Tim Burton. Michael Keaton, is that Tim Burton? Anyway, just the Michael Keaton one is mine, the 1989. I do look forward to the Batmobile too, but this thing is going to be 7 inches, not 6 inches. Of course, that's what McFarlane does. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. If their Batmobile is going to hold a 7-inch figure, that thing's going to be huge. And we see there's going to be a Walmart exclusive 12-inch Turtle Classic Michelangelo and Leonardo. But I think the only one that's not going to be available everywhere, like Target and stuff, is Michelangelo. I did see the rest of them at Target. I only snagged up 2 of them so far. I missed out on Leonardo. I didn't grab them right away, and they were starting to sell. And you know, it was kind of fun too, because I saw 2 kids running around with them and excited to get 12-inch turtles. They were so happy. So that's interesting. So turtles are popular for younger kids, I guess. So that is pretty interesting and pretty exciting. But I just remember these being bigger than 12 inches. Maybe it's just one of those size comprehension things as you get older. Okay, so there's looking at Star Wars here. There is a rumor report, and so the Vintage Collections has 2 deluxe $27.99 figures that are going to be, we don't know what they are. They think it's from Book of Boba Fett. Yak faces all over it like usual, but that looks pretty cool. Except I'm not going to buy these. I haven't bought any of these. Not one of these closed box package deluxe $27, $30 figures. I haven't bought them. I'm going to pass. I don't care what they put in that box. It just, to me, it's just not worth it. I can't see it. I'm not going to be able to enjoy it. why bother? So, but do you have any idea what Baytown and Bethany would be? Then there's rumor of Target exclusives for Black Series, Warm, Cold, and Icy. So what could Warm, Cold, and Icy be? So I have no idea. Seriously, I don't know. So these codes that they use and they put stuff out. I mean, when will we finally know what it is? I don't know. Okay, so my wife and I discussed for 2 weeks whether we were going to re-up on Disney Plus. But since we did, we are going to watch everything on Disney Plus that we want to watch. We did watch Willow. I'm not going to do a review of Willow. We did watch Willow. Is there going to be a Willow too? Season 2, Episode 3, Solitary Clone. I think Bad Batch is literally the best Star Wars media they put out. A lot of people love Andor, but the Bad Batch just feels right. And I don't even really love the Clone Wars series, but I enjoyed watching it back when it came out. And I just feel like that's the same feel I got back then. A cartoon is better than any of the live action stuff they're putting out these days. That's shocking to me. I felt the same way about the Clone Wars era cartoon. It was really great. And this also great. So, Bad Batch. Just check it out. Disney Plus is $109.99 or something for a year. So let me know what you think about this week's Weekly News and Review. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I don't even think I covered everything I intended to cover, but I can always roll it into next week. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Tidarium Hanger out.